knew that cooking could be such a fun-filled, silly adventure? Let's delve into this world of colourful chaos and culinary creativity. The kitchen, a place often associated with the routine task of preparing meals, is more than just a functional space you visit out of necessity. It is a haven for experimenting, a stage for showmanship, and a canvas to paint with the colours of your imagination. Here's a tiny revelation for you. The kitchen is not merely a place to prepare food, but also a playground for your creativity. Yes, it's a place where washcloths become capes, ladles become magic wands, and you, the cook, transform into an artist, a scientist, or even a magician. It's just about following a recipe verbatim, but about treating it as a guideline, something to improvise upon, something to add your signature style to. Now I want you to visualize this. A hot, sizzling pot brimming with a rainbow of fresh, crunchy vegetables. Greens, yellows, oranges and reds mingle together, creating a mesmerizing kaleidoscope in your pot. Add to this a sprinkle of mini meatballs or tofu cubes for an extra twist of fun. Can you imagine the delightful contrast of textures? The ballet of dancing on your tongue? But oh, we're not done adding our madcap elements yet. If you're feeling particularly audacious today, go ahead and introduce a dash of unexpected food colouring. Now, isn't that a riot of colours and flavours that would even make a painter envious? It's like having a party in your pot, an edible carnival of sorts. You see, cooking at home is not just about feeding your stomach, it's about feeding your soul, exploring your creative side, and most importantly, having fun. It's an opportunity to be a child again, to tend to your curiosity, and to create something magical out of ordinary ingredients. It's about transforming a mundane task into a joyous activity, a celebration in itself. Today we're not just cooking, we're creating memories, stories and experiences. And what better way to do that than with our silly soup recipe? It's not just soup, it's a potion of joy, a concoction of creativity and a symbol of our culinary adventures. So grab the opportunity to unleash your creativity, don your silliest apron and chef's hat and let's make some magic happen. Get ready to stir, to laugh and to revel in the process. After all, we're about to embark on a culinary adventure. Our silly soup recipe is a delightful medley of vibrant veggies, lively pasta and compact meatballs or tofu cubes. To escalate the silliness, we plan to incorporate a hint of colour to this amusing mix. What makes this soup whimsical and delightful, you might wonder? It's all about the constituents and the amusing manner we amalgamate them. The fascinating journey of crafting a silly soup initiates with a litter of savoury chicken or fragrant vegetable broth, depending on your liking. The broth imparts the soup with a coziness and intensity that act as its groundwork. Seize 240 grams of boiled pasta. The silhouette doesn't matter, nonetheless. Spirals or bow ties are recommended for an added element of amusement and caprice. Next up are the vegetables, 130 grams each of finely chopped, fresh from the garden carrots and crisp celery. What's a soup without a hint of colour and added nutrition? We're incorporating 150 grams each of fresh green peas and diced vibrant bell peppers. Now, if you're inclined towards a dose of unpredictability in your soup, you can toss in a can of 400 grams of chopped tomatoes. The tomatoes contribute a mildly tangy taste and an additional colour to our silly soup. For some added fun and protein, drop in 150 grams of small meatballs or tofu cubes, whichever matches your taste buds. To elevate the flavour map of our soup, require 15 millilitres of premium olive oil, 5 grams each of fine salt and freshly crushed pepper, 15 grams of an Italian seasoning blend, and 15 millilitres of tangy lemon juice. For the ultimate stroke of silliness, why not incorporate a few droplets of your preferred food colouring? Green or blue could be intriguing choices. With all the constituents at hand, it's time to initiate the cooking. In a large pot, heat the olive oil over medium flame. Toss in the diced carrots, celery and bell peppers and sauté them till they're soft, approximately 5 to 7 minutes. Then pour in the broth and allow it to simmer. Add in your small meatballs or tofu cubes and the boiled pasta. Incorporate the peas and tomatoes if you've opted to use them, giving the soup a good stir to blend everything well. It's now time to season. Sprinkle the salt, pepper and Italian seasoning and conclude with a dash of fresh lemon juice. If you're feeling daring, add the food colouring now. Let the soup simmer for an additional 10 minutes to allow all those magnificent flavours to amalgamate together. Once it's prepared, serve it in a large, amusing bowl and get ready to savour a wholesome meal. And there you have it, a pot brimming with whimsicality and deliciousness. Now, who's ready to slurp away? Transitioning from savoury to sweet, we're about to embark on a dessert journey that's bound to amuse you. Introducing strawberry doughnuts with pink polka dots. For those who prefer metric measurements, here are the ingredients and steps to create this delightful dessert. To make the doughnuts, prepare the following: 250 grams of all-purpose flour, 100 grams of sugar, 15 grams of baking powder, 3 grams of salt, 60 grams of butter, 120 milliliters of milk, 1 large egg, 5 milliliters of vanilla extract, and 75 grams of fresh strawberries. The glaze would need 120 grams of powdered sugar, 30 milliliters of milk, 2.5 milliliters of vanilla extract, and a few drops of pink food colouring. For the fun, pink polka dots, gather 100 grams of white chocolate chips or candy melts, and a few drops of pink food colouring or pink edible sprinkles. Instructions for the doughnuts are as follows. Start by preheating your oven to 175 degrees Celsius and lightly greasing a donut pan. In a large bowl, mix together the flour, sugar, baking powder and salt. In another bowl, whisk together the butter, milk, egg and vanilla extract. Gradually merge the wet ingredients into the dry, ensuring a smooth mixture. Carefully fold in the strawberries and spoon the batter into the pan, filling each donut mold about 3/4 full. Bake for about 10-12 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. Allow the donuts to cool. While the donuts are cooling, prepare the glaze. Mix powdered sugar, milk and vanilla extract until you achieve a smooth consistency. Add a few drops of pink food colouring until you achieve your desired shade. Once the donuts have cooled, dip them into the pink glaze and let the excess drip off. To create the pink polka dots, melt white chocolate chips in a microwave-safe bowl, stirring every 20 seconds until smooth. Add a few drops of pink food colouring or pink sprinkles to the melted chocolate. Using a small piping bag or spoon, create little pink polka dots on your glazed donuts. Let the glaze and polka dots rest for about 15 minutes before serving. And there you have it, a batch of playful strawberry donuts with pink polka dots. Savour this sweet creation and remember, cooking is all the more enjoyable with a touch of whimsy. Now, for a bit of a detour, let's take a pause from our cooking spree and introduce you to a peculiar character. Jane Fitzcostelia here, and I have a story to share. Remember, every 2 minutes, tilt your head to the side and look at your screen. You never know. It might bring you some luck with the lottery. So about our character, Miss Belle Pum, a friend to a unique family. Hauve, a mother made of candy floss. Pole, a cuddly male polar bear. Noodles, a soft golden bear. And Zoe, also a creature of candy floss. This family is as sweet and delightful as our donuts, and their adventures are equally amusing. One day, Miss Belle Pum was gardening for her friends when she let out a fart so potent that a seagull dropped from the sky and into their chimney, falling straight into the silly soup they had prepared. Middles, another friend, managed to keep quiet about the unfortunate event until the smell got too much. Poor Noodles succumbed to her queasiness and ended up filling the bath with her vomit. Hauve, oblivious to the situation, stepped into the bath, only to discover the unpleasant surprise too late. As she rushed to the shower to wash off, Pole was left with the task of finishing the donuts. In search of advice, Pole approached Miss Belle Pum in the garden, placing the donut batter bowl on the grass. As they chatted, Miss Belle Pum, distracted by some petunias, unknowingly positioned herself over the bowl. A mishap ensued, and she accidentally added an unwanted ingredient to the donut batter. Meanwhile, a shriek echoed from the house. Miss Belle Pum rushed in to help Hauve, leaving Pole unaware of the bowl's unfortunate fate. As Miss Belle Pum filled a new bath for Hauve, another accident occurred, adding to the day's calamity. We'll return to this amusing tale after our next recipe, but remember, even in the most chaotic situations, there's always room for a bit of humour. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.